अपनी जिंदगी में मैं जाके एडवर्टाइजिंग को ठीक कर दूंगा तलवार चला के. आई एम लाइक दैट. उठो, आ गया है आइडिया. व्हाट आर यू स्कैर्ड ऑफ? हाउ कैन यू कंट्रोल योर इमोशन?
Are you okay? You need a tissue.
नो, आई एम ओके.
ऐसे बोलूं कि जोर से बोलूं?
Say something. Something.
Yeah, are you rolling?
Sound wise? Hello.
I'll say it. Switch on the camera.
जी मेरा फेवरेट टॉपिक है.
Okay, let me know if this is fine. Hello.
Yeah.
Check. 1, 2, 3. Check.
And
Yeah, you can hear me? Clear?
हेलो.
This is clear, Ketki.
हाँ ठीक है मैडम.
You start. Good to go? I'll start.
We started rolling.
I'll start.
रेडी? यार से लोग मुझे कभी फेविकॉल कहते हैं, कभी कैडबरी कहते हैं, कभी लूना कहते हैं, कभी कुछ नहीं कहते. मजा आता है. Hi, my name is Piyush Pandey. I normally am not that talkative, but I'll be talkative with a very talkative person called Ketki on Creative Talkative very shortly. I hope you love it.
Welcome to Creative Talkative with Ketki Tiwari.
Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this. There's no topping this. Time to explain what's in our veins, what's in our minds. Take a peek into these lives. Yeah, we're creative and talkative. There's no stopping this. There's no topping this. Time to explain what's in our veins, what's in our minds.
we'll just talk.
I don't like agendas.
Man without an agenda who has achieved beyond.
Everything without an agenda, that too.
That's amazing, no? But everything about you is so simple. कि it's almost unbelievable कि कैसे हो गया.
I enjoy it, yeah. I enjoy it completely. Never thought कि आगे क्या होगा. करें तो सही, फिर देखी जाएगी.
Exact, which is what I'm saying. कि it's so hard to believe that the way your life has panned out.
I don't know any other way. Day for yesterday, I was awarded by IAA, and just before the award and my citation was read out, they played the Tata Corporate ad. Now that Tata Corporate ad I had written. I had written, the voice is mine also. And the words are absolutely fantastic. It's Tata's thinking, Tata's this thing, and also matches my own thinking. And a lot of my work had gone into making of that ad. So I already had tears in my eyes, and somebody said, come on, don't get emotional. I said, who's getting emotional about this? They'll start later. I'm getting emotional about this.
So my first interaction with him was on a film for Asian Paints. I knew him as a godfather of advertising that who's changed the whole perception. And here he's come for the preview in a studio, and after watching it, I just see that he's sobbing. I'm thinking, what's wrong with it? Huh? Then I told him, "अच्छा बहुत अच्छा बनाया तुमने, very good boy, champ, and hello champ." And I asked, पता नहीं, he gets emotional. उनको कोई भी फिल्म में अगर थोड़ा भी emotion होगा तो वो रो देते हैं. And from then on, most of the film that I have worked with them, he's mostly so emotional and teary-eyed.
I've never been scared of crying. If something moves you,
Correct.
you don't want to cry. You don't have an agenda of crying. But tears come down your cheeks only because you have been moved that way. Like, for instance, that Google reunion film, I must have seen it 1,000 times. Every time I see it, I get tears in my eyes. Even if I'm on stage, if I'm in a meeting, wherever I am. Now, I don't have a machine of saying, okay, cry. So those things happen. Some people control that.
Correct.
I don't control it. Because why do you think that people will take laughter to be natural and tears not to be natural? Who decided that?
Correct.
So I never had that problem. Never ever. There is nothing else apart from, if you can't touch a person, then you haven't communicated.
That's true.
And some people may not cry on something, but you can see from their eyes that you have been able to make an impact.
Correct.
I mean, I've always believed that media people say opportunities to see. I say nonsense. It is opportunities to impact.
So most of us who grow up in the 80s and 90s and joined advertising know of Piyush as somebody who kind of changed the mold in the kind of work that we saw on TV.
We were friends. We are, workmates. We've enjoyed lots of times together.
And I must say, the fascinating thing is the Piyush who was the young, as I say, Hindi copy chief, and the Piyush who is now the celebrated creative India's not probably is India's foremost creative advertising personality. The essential Piyush is still the same.
Number one, he's the best friend you can have. Number two, he's the ideal family member. And then comes his prowess and, of course, his success as a marketing and an ad man.
बहुत ही ईमानदार और ज़्यादा ही अच्छे आदमी हैं ये.
It was a beautiful moment. I remember this Google reunion I just spoke to you about. That's the only time I've been to Pakistan. The Indian delegation was going and they wanted me to be a part of them, and we crossed over to Lahore where they had their own people from the communications fraternity. And the ad Google reunion had been released just 2 days back.
Okay.
I was up on stage and I played that. Now there was 600, 700, 800 people, 150 odd Indians. The rest of them obviously were from Pakistan. 800 people crying. It's about two friends from childhood who were separated, and they get to meet again when they are 70, 75 years old.
Correct.
The emotion is a human emotion which is a universal emotion. How can you control your emotions? How can you plan to control कि आज तुम्हें बिल्कुल नहीं एक आंसू भी नहीं निकलेगा? Why, if you don't get an answer, you will get one international award or what? Wow, what control. So, really.
But why are men so afraid of crying?
It's stupid that people think that they'll look weak.
Huh.
I think you're strong if you can stand there and cry and not feel weak inside.
Absolutely.
If humanity is weakness, then I think we're talking to the wrong people. I'm not that kind, and I have nothing against people who are that way, but I have nothing for them either.
पीयूष का मतलब होता है अमृत, and really his nature is like that. He is the best brother one could have. बचपन की मेरी याद ये कि बहुत शैतान था. Because he's a sports person. कभी फाल से चुरा लिए, कभी किसी से बॉक्सिंग हो गई, दांत तोड़ दिए, and after we lost our both the parents, suddenly he's become boss.
See, Piyush hasn't changed at all from childhood till now. He was a bully then. He's only increased his bullying of me. He would go on a cycle to school, and I would be sitting on that cycle. Okay, and I remember that once it rained like cats and dogs in Jaipur. It was flooded. It had like 2 feet of water, and we were pedaling through it. And then suddenly it hit some pothole. And so we went in, and now the cycle's fallen down. And we are looking for the cycle because it's all muddy water. It's not clear water, so you can't find anything. He is about 20 feet away from me, and I'm on the other side of the road. And simultaneously, we both said, "Mil gayi." And we found 2 pieces of it.
Mama, I love you, Mama. Piyush Mama, you are an inspiration. I love you. I don't know what to say to somebody जिसको सब किसी ने डिक्शनरी की सारी जो एडजेक्टिव्स हैं यूज़ कर लिए हैं जिनके बारे में अब मेरे लिए जगह और शब्द नहीं बचे हैं. But Mama, you know me. I'm your roomie, your blue-eyed baby. Your energy, your enthusiasm is what feeds, I think, and inspires all of us to be slightly better today than we were yesterday.
Now your schedule is not as grueling as it used to be. Or
My schedule is and has been always grueling and not grueling.
whenever you choose.
No, when you have something to do, you got to do it. Whether you do it, I think my own colleagues, the number of meetings we have had here where you're sitting is phenomenal. My client said, no, meeting we'll have in your house. I think we get ideas when you're discussing out there. What they're saying is not your house, but they're saying that in informal scenarios, we talk a little more freely. When we talk a little more freely, ideas seem to come out.
Correct.
So that's the way I've been. When I was in the office, I always had people in my room. Hey, kya kar rahe ho aap? Kuch sochte hain. When I was here, in those days also, the same thing. I never knew which one is office and which one is home. So, and as long as you have a problem to solve, as long as you have an idea to think of, people call it grueling. I don't find it grueling. It's my hobby. It's my joy. There's a joke with my own colleagues and with clients. Say, yaar, the thing is, when the phone rings at 6:30, we know it's Piyush. And he'll call up and he'll say, so rahe the? Utho, aa gaya hai idea.
He starts getting ideas from 6 o'clock and he's dying to share it with me. So he'll start calling up my house from 7 o'clock. यार वो उठा कि नहीं उठा? यार अब तो उठा दो यार उसको. उसको 6 बजे से आइडिया आ रहे हैं, मेरे को 9 बजे तक पॉटी नहीं आती है. So you know, that's the man that he is, and he gets ideas by the minute.
I've always told him, please don't call me like before 7 because that's too early for me.
The phone rings, which is very normal with you at 6:30, 7 in the morning. Thank you for calling nowadays after 7:30.
And I still remember one very nice thing which my first managing director, Mani Iyer, said to me very early in my life. He said, take your job seriously, but don't take yourself too seriously. Well, it was like giving a license to me. Because I believe in that anyway. I said, okay, my boss thinks so, I am like that.
How you changed the scene, the nature of the game, and you basically cured Indian advertising of its colonial sort
I think
of
these are hindsight things that people have said.
Yeah.
I was not any Bhagat Singh or Chandrasekhar Azad to say अपनी जिंदगी में मैं जाके एडवर्टाइजिंग को ठीक कर दूंगा, तलवार चला के ये करके हिंदी में ये आ गया नया मंगल पांडे. ये मेरा ऐसा कोई प्लान नहीं था. मैं एक नौकरी करने आया था यहाँ. एंड मुझे लगता था कि ये जो कर रहे हैं ये आम आदमी तक तो पहुँचती नहीं है बात.
करेक्ट.
और औरतों की किचन तक नहीं पहुँचती है बात. ये बात उनके भावनाओं तक नहीं पहुँचती है. एंड आई थॉट दैट्स द राइट थिंग टू डू. आई वाज नॉट ऑन अ क्रूसेड. तो मैंने उस तरह का काम करना शुरू किया. Where it could touch people, where it could reach people, where people could sit in the evening and say, यार आपने वो रहा देखा, वो हीरे को क्या पता तुम्हारी उम्र क्या है.
Correct.
And they could relate with it. तो वो काम लोगों को पसंद आने लगा. तो कुछ लोग तो घबरा गए कि यार ये हमको तो ये करना नहीं आता है. और कुछ लोगों को लाइसेंस मिल गया कि यार हमको तो आता है ये करना, मगर किसी ने मौका नहीं दिया करने का. उनको मौके मिलने लगे. There was a system that started changing.
Right.
And that changed quite a bit. In 90s it changed one hell of a lot.
Correct.
वो एक इंडिया की स्टैंप अपनी एडवर्टाइजिंग पे दिखने लग गई. सो न तो मैं किसी इंग्लिश कॉपीराइटर को भगाने आया था यहाँ से. उनकी मेरे से कोई दुश्मनी नहीं थी. नहीं, मैं कुछ छापे लगाने आया था. What I was doing is what I thought was correct. What made an impact for my clients' businesses. What people loved. Today when I go onto the streets, very often there will be people who are not from the business who will say, walk up to him and say, Mr. Piyush Pandey, आप फेविकॉल का अगला ऐड कब बना रहे हो? मैंने कहा यार इतना प्रेशर तो मेरे क्लाइंट ने नहीं डाला जितना तुम डाल रहे हो। एंड वो क्योंकि होता गया, नाउ पीपल से दैट he did this and he did that. Yes, what I started doing, that impacted the speed of that thing happening. That raised the expectations of people कि यार हमको अच्छी advertising दिखाओ. So that is what communication is.
You know, there are very few people who can genuinely use their creativity or their craft to make such a difference to the country. You know, what you did, for example, with Milesur, or what you did with the polio. I don't think the idea was just to create a campaign. You really made a difference. You were one
जो
of the key.
मिलेसुर तो मेरे बॉस सुरेश मलिक की सोच थी, उन्हीं का आइडिया था. एंड देन ही सेड यार 1987-80 में 5-6 साल ही हुए थे मुझे एडवर्टाइजिंग में. एंड तो उन्होंने बोला ये तुम लिखो. तो मैंने कहा ये तो बड़े बड़े लोग आपसे उनसे लिखवाते हैं. बोला नहीं, मुझे सिंपलिसिटी चाहिए, ये मुझे मिल नहीं रही है, तुम लिखो. तो मुझे मौका मिला था और वो यहाँ इतनी दूर तक पहुँचेगा ये मुझे मालूम नहीं था.
ऐसा मौके पे चौका आप लगाएंगे.
वो लगते आपको पता नहीं था. तो मेरी तो मदर कहती थी हमेशा, माय फादर पास्ड अवे इन 85.
Okay.
फिर ये ऐड आया 87-88 में ये मिलेसुर आया. तो मेरी मदर का यही दुख था कि काश ये तुमने अपने पिताजी के होते हुए लिखा होता.
करेक्ट.
तो अपने दोस्तों के पास जाते,
करेक्ट.
बोले ये मेरे बेटे ने लिखा है.
करेक्ट. Are you okay? You need a tissue?
No, I'm okay. So दिल से उन्होंने कहा था लिखो, और ये मेरे से हो गया और वहाँ तक पहुँचा. ये बहुत मेरी खुशकिस्मती है.
करेक्ट.
और पोलियो तो खैर एक चैलेंज था, और उसमें मिस्टर बच्चन का बहुत बड़ा योगदान था. हम लोग शूट करते थे, उनकी शूट्स के बीच में संतोष शिवन जिनको बहुत बड़ा अवार्ड मिला इस बार कैन में एज अ सिनेमाटोग्राफर, वो उनकी फिल्में शूट कर रहे होते थे. उनसे बात कर ली कि यार तुम डायरेक्ट कर लो ये. तो हम पैसे भी नहीं थे हमारे पास,
राइट,
मगर पैशन तो था. ये बहुत हमेशा बोलता हूँ कि यार पैसे और पैशन में फ़र्क होता है.
राइट.
पैशन हो तो पैसे नहीं चाहिए होते आपको.
राइट.
तो जहाँ मौका मिलता था वहीं घुस जाते थे. और मिस्टर बच्चन वाज लाइक दैट. तो 10 साल हमने किया पोलियो काम.
आई नो.
और फिर जब 2014 में इंडिया पोलियो फ्री डिक्लेयर हुआ, तो उस दिन मिस्टर बच्चन और मैं भी गले लग के हम रोए दोनों.
अच्छा.
तो रोना उनके लिए, तो उनके तो आंखों से नज़र आता है कि वो
बिल्कुल
रो रहे हैं कि नहीं रो रहे हैं. मैं तो रो रहा था ऐसे ही. तो ये बहुत बड़े मौके थे, और उन मौक़ों पे हम अच्छा काम कर गए. वो ऊपर वाले की दया है. तो उसमें ये नहीं था ये सरकारी काम है इसको मैं कर दूंगा. ये होता था कि यार ये तो ज़बरदस्त काम है, इसमें अगर मैंने अच्छा काम नहीं किया तो वो इनजस्टिस होगी.
करेक्ट.
क्योंकि ये देश की नीड थी. और ये मेरा मानना है, और मैं अपने कॉलीग से भी शेयर करता हूँ कि कोई काम छोटा नहीं होता. अगर उसके साथ में एक छोटी सी चीज़ होती है, याद रखना, वो होती है तुम्हारी नाक.
अच्छा.
जिसमें होती है तुम्हारी इज्जत. तो अगर पैसे नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, तो कम से कम अपनी नाक की इज्जत तो
छोटी
करो
सी
भाई.
नाक की तो इज्जत करो.
तो उसी चक्कर में अच्छे काम हो जाते हैं. और काम इन चीज़ों का अवार्ड जीतने का नहीं है. बहुत सारे लोग सोचते हैं कि मैं एक ऐड यहाँ से निकाल दूंगा और मैं अवार्ड जीत जाऊंगा.
करेक्ट.
वो कोई भी कर सकता.
करेक्ट. नहीं, आप अक्सर कहते हैं कि अवार्ड्स आर बोनस.
अवार्ड्स आर बोनस, विल ऑलवेज बी अ बोनस. एंड आज की तारीख में मुझे इस बात का बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि जब इंटरनेशनल रिकग्निशन मिलती है तो उन्हीं कामों के लिए मिलती है जो हमने अपने लोगों के लिए किया था. ऑल माई साइटेशन से कि फॉर पुटिंग इंडिया ऑन द मैप ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, for doing the Indian kind of advertising that India needs. So
correct.
That gives me pride. What helped me was interacting with the people of India, respecting the people of India, respecting your own family and seeing those things. आधी चीजें तो हवा में घूम रही थी, मैं अंदर जा रही थी आपके. आप कोई प्रैक्टिस नहीं कर रहे थे क्राफ्ट. तो जिस दिन वो जरूरत पड़ी तो वो सब चीजें घूम के आ गई.
आर्काइव से निकाल लिया.
तो मैं वो आर्काइव मालूम भी नहीं था, वो अपने आप ही निकलता कहीं से, क्योंकि आपने उसका रिस्पेक्ट किया था. जो लोग इसका रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते, उनको चिंता नहीं है, वो उनके घर में बड़ी बड़ी बातें हो जाती हैं, उनको याद ही नहीं है. और यंगस्टर्स को मैं ये बोलता हूँ, यार आंखें और कान खोले रखो और दिल खुला रखो. मेरे घर में तो मैं तो क्रिकेट खेल रहा था, तो टू द एक्सटेंट कि मेरे चारों तरफ मेरी सिस्टर्स के कल्चर ही कल्चर था. मेरे फादर के अंदर कल्चर था, मेरी मदर के अंदर कल्चर था, और मैं इसके बीच में क्रिकेट खेल रहा था. एक बार तो मेरे फादर ने मुझसे कहा भी कि यार तुम बड़े होके क्या करोगे, बैट खाओगे. पर वो हवा में जा रहा था अंदर, क्योंकि मैं था उस घर में, बहुत कुछ जा रहा था, वो सब निकल के आया बाद में और सब मेरे काम में आया.
So a few years ago at Cannes, we were thrilled and excited because we didn't know, but we suddenly realized in the morning schedule that, hey, Piyush is going to be speaking in one of these, quick sessions. And we are as eager as largely the bunch of youngsters from across the world who were there to watch this, not only Indian, the world advertising guru legend speak about something about creativity. He comes and says, I come from India, which is the land of, I'm sure all of you will have heard about it as yoga. And then he starts teaching everybody pranayam. And he does. So it suddenly became like a yoga class in Cannes. Basically, he said that everything that you inhale from your surroundings is going to be the material that is going to process in your heart and your head. And that is going to give you the richest material for the work that you do. And the work that you do from that is what you exhale out. So don't forget to inhale the life around you. That man has this insane ability to simplify the most complex things.
You have a master's in history, right? So history was something that you were always...
No, it was cricket. History was to keep me in college.
Acha, okay.
By being in college, I could play for the university.
Okay.
कई बार चीजें होती हैं अपने आप हो जाती हैं.
नहीं, I think this is your way of always saying कि हो जाती है अपने आप.
नहीं, मैं आपको बताता हूँ हो जाती है, क्योंकि मेरे पास तो स्कूल में बड़े कम नंबर थे. मुझे सेंट स्टीफेंस में कभी एडमिशन ही नहीं मिलता. तो क्रिकेट के चक्कर में मैं सेंट स्टीफेंस पहुंचा. उन्होंने कहा हम तुमको आर्ट्स ही दे सकते हैं. तो यार कुछ तो दे सकते हो, दे दो. तो उन्होंने आर्ट्स दे दी, और मैं पहले फर्स्ट ईयर में आई स्टूड फर्स्ट इन द यूनिवर्सिटी. अगर वो वहाँ पे फेल होने की औकात थी आपकी स्कूल में बाय साइंस मैथ्स, जो थी मेरे में, तो सो मच सो कि मेरे एक एडिशनल सब्जेक्ट सिविक्स लेके तो मैं पास हो गया.
अच्छा.
वरना मैथ्स तो मुझे मालूम था मैं फेल हो जाऊंगा. ये 72 के एंड की बात है. और मेरे फादर ने वो रिपोर्ट कार्ड देखी और मुझे बहुत डांटा है कि 39% इन मैथ्स, ये कोई नंबर होते हैं. 85 में फादर पास अवे. मैंने उनको कभी नहीं बताया वो 39 साले 200 में से थे. My very dear friend Arun Lalu went and played for India. He and I said in some lighter moments that one day when we work, we'll work in the same place. So he was 1 year senior to me, and he got this job in a tea tasting company called TMNMC in Calcutta. So when I finished 1 year later, I sent my CV to him, and he gave it to his boss, who gave me a job, and that's how I got into it.
Did you know that after college, Piyush came to Calcutta looking for that job in the very same company where I, 1 year earlier, had got a job. And that's what we had decided, that, wherever we go, we'll work together in whichever company. What brought us together initially was cricket, and then, as they say, the rest is history. And the last thing on his mind or anybody else's at that stage was advertising. But that's what life is all about. It takes you where your passion is, where your aptitude is. And Piyush certainly, when I look back, was designed for what he's done.
I'd come to Bombay. I was very fortunate that my sister Ila, she and her husband, they said you can come and stay in that house, small little apartment of theirs. I was sharing a room with Ishita.
One day he got so irritated with my singing that he put me ulta in not ulta, he said कि तुमने वापस गाया तो तुम्हें मैं पंखे से उल्टा लटका दूंगा. Of course, I went to school and I told this to my principal, and of course my mom got a call saying कि is there a man traumatizing your daughter?
He lived with me for a couple of years. बहुत बढ़िया ऑमलेट बनाता है सच में, झाग वाला शू 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 करके बहुत बढ़िया.
I wouldn't have been able to manage within the salary that I had had my sister not given me a place. And so I got into this job and I started enjoying it. And meanwhile, one job that I had applied for earlier, they came back and they said, we'll give you a job and we'll give you a house in Jaipur and they'll give you a car and we will allow you to play Ranji Trophy and this and that.
said, नहीं अब मुझे झंडे गाड़ने हैं, अभी मुझे ये सब नहीं करना.
झंडे नहीं मालूम था. I said, no, I'm already enjoying this. And this guy said, are you mad? I said, maybe. If there is a lesson in hindsight that I can share is that if I loved something, I took it on. I didn't put logic into it. When I took my job in Ogilvy, I'd come at about 1/3 the salary of what I was getting in Calcutta. I didn't look at the salary. I just said, I enjoy this. I would have joined in anything because I liked the place. I didn't know what was there.
Correct.
So they gave me a job in servicing. That's where I joined. And then I was caught writing copy and they said, you come to this side.
This side.
There was a scenario of a certain kind of English way of thinking. So when I entered this, there were a number of people who wrote also. Who is this North Indian, Hindi speaking North Indian guy who's disturbing the system?
Acha.
So he said, okay, it doesn't matter. Let him say what he has to. I was doing what I was supposed to do for my audience. You don't have to worry about the resistance. When your opening comes, you come through it and you break everything aside. We have seen it.
Right.
And we'll see more of it. And similarly, I think youngsters should not think कि मैं यहाँ से आया हूँ, छोटी जगह से आया हूँ. कोई छोटी बड़ी जगह नहीं होती. अब अपनी जगह. वो मेरे को 2 लाइनें बड़ी अच्छी लगती है उस गाने की. बंटी और बबली की क्या पिक्चर थी वो. उसमें वो जो है ना वो गाने में लाइनें छोटे छोटे शहरों से हम तो झोला उठा के चले.
Correct.
I think lots of people will come with jholas.
Right.
And lots of people will create new things. If you are conscious of your audience, then nothing will come in your way. मैं कोई झंडे नहीं गाड़ रहा था. मैं तो अपनी पेंसिल लेके I was writing, and किसी ने आके उसके ऊपर झंडा लगा दिया पीछे से.
I think you have not only created an agency and the position of that agency, which is Ogilvy, but you have created the entire industry. Everybody has gone on to become a creative leader themselves.
You know, what was I doing? I was not here again that I will be the creator of a whole lot of people. No, you don't create people, you give them platforms.
But so many people are doing that, Piyush. There must have been something different, no? Kuch to hoga.
What was I doing? I was trying to create a team. When you create a team, you have to reach or talk to people with respect. You have to encourage them. You have to sometimes support them. And slowly you see that you have become a stronger team. When you become a stronger team, some people reach the position where the other people are wanting them to work with them. Now, those people go there. If they love this ecosystem, they create the same ecosystem. And that's the kind of thing that spreads. And what I may have done in one place, now there are 10 places which are
Exactly.
carrying that same thinking because they believed in it, because they enjoyed it.
Correct.
And they added their own to it.
What I really admire about Piyush is obviously he's done good work, but more than good work, he was able to build a creative ecosystem around him that did the kind of creative that was not necessarily his type, and that comes from a place of immense security, because a lot of the creative work that Ogilvy did is not something that we would be Piyush's favorite, but he was large enough to allow all of them to flourish, and even work like Vodafone and all that, he allowed it to flourish around him, so that Ogilvy could be seen as not just an agency that did humor or one type of work, but it almost became a large flourishing ecosystem with many kinds of creative organisms in it and many kinds of creative ideas in it, which is amazing for a human being to stimulate that or to trigger that off in a company. But he could do that and he did it.
I think in the creative industry, this plays a very important role. आप insecure हो जाते हो कि अगर मैंने इसको
Insecurity will kill you in any job. It's not just the creative industry. Insecurity leads you into a scenario where you keep your good ideas to yourself,
correct.
where you dabao other people's ideas.
Yeah.
It's bound to kill you. It's like you have something fantastic with you. And I say, I will not give this idea to you because she might become better than me.
Correct.
If she has to become better than you, she will in any case. You are only putting a kind of a
Speed breaker.
speed breaker and not a roadblock. Insecurity actually curtails you too. Because when you are not sharing ideas, if you're busy thinking of where will this idea go, you're not thinking of new ideas.
Correct.
So it's restraining you, it's restraining others. It's a killer of many, many things.
You had a team of quite a few youngsters and freshers, and in spite of having a team like that, you managed to create the kind of work. So this is again a mystery for a lot of people. कैसे हो गया?
Because you allowed people to play. You were not insecure. I still remember from this, it reminds me, somebody said from the industry, from a competitor, so who do they have? They have only one Piyush Pandey.
हाँ.
To which I said at that point of time, okay, then we got one more than you. Then 10 years later, same kind of people said, but how can we compete with them? They've got a battery of creative directors. So you first complained about having one. Now you're complaining about having a battery. If we were able to attract wonderful talent, give them the opportunity, isn't that a beautiful thing to do?
So do you remember when you tried to play rugby and you broke your foot? And I think that's the time when, for me, while you were sitting at home, it became the best education school graduation certificate that I got, where I could come every day to your house and rewrite and write and rewrite and write, and more than anything else, think more with you. And I know you were in too much of pain, but for me, it was the best learning session ever. So thank you so much.
अच्छी बात मुझे उनसे सीखने को मिली. He was telling me that if you take ownership of something, हर आदमी अपने को उस काम का मालिक समझे तो कितना अच्छा होगा. और मैंने इसको अपने आचरण में ढालने की कोशिश की.
One of the great things about Piyush Mama, as we call him, is he never ever imposes his thoughts. In fact, he has a very unique way of briefing you. He will give you so much leeway and he'll give you so much of space to be yourself. But at the same time, when he needs to kind of manage the direction, he will do it with really soft and gentle hands. And it's always a pleasure and a joy to work with him.
And if you get people in, good people in, you have to allow them to bat. You can't say, no, all batting will be done by me. You stay there, you're a good chap. What happens is, okay, we'll go into cricket analysis. Australia used to have a very good team. And they used to take pride 15 years back or something. They always had a good team, but that time I'm talking about. And they used to take pride in the fact that we have the most strong, most wonderful bench strength.
Acha.
Apart from the 11 that player, look at 6 others who are sitting out. Very good. Now they got so serious about this that they kept playing, 11 kept playing. And 6-7 years later, those 6-7 got old without playing.
Correct.
Now these guys got older, so they had to retire. So they said, okay guys, you come. They had never played. So now they had a team which didn't have a very good time, only because the chance came too late.
Most of the people who have worked with you say that they have always walked 2 feet above the ground, because when it comes to praise, they've said that Piyush never holds back. If he wants to berate you, he'll put you down in a very gentle manner. But if he has something that you have done which he likes, he'll just praise you.
Why will anyone stay with a person who doesn't recognize good work? Then why is that person here? You have to recognize good work. You have to give them the motivation to say, "Yaar, this, so I wish I had done it."
I remember one incident, and I was pitching the film, and the client completely bounced the film thing, and Piyush said, "No problem." I mean, Piyush was so good to the client also, and so good to me also. Shujit, let's go. We will think, we'll evolve this idea, and we'll come back and present it.
We had a pitch once. We were called for the second round, but we hadn't done too well. And we thought we were all going to get admonished. And in true Piyush cricket analogy, he said, we played a bad innings, but because we are good players, they've called us for the second innings. Now we'll show them how we can play. When he means front foot, he's always that, and just moves on to what needs to be done so easily.
You can be a strict disciplinarian, or you can, as they say in Hindi, meethi maar sakta. A lot of people in my office used to party with me in my own house till 2-3 o'clock. And I used to be in the office at 9 anyway.
Correct.
Whatever time. I used to reach there. Wait. Office time was 9:30. At 9:35, I used to take my post-it pad, and these people had glass doors on their, glass as the door. To go and stick it out there. Good morning, it's 9:35, I'm missing you. Go back to my room. Come back after a while. It's 9:45, I'm really missing you. It's 10 o'clock, I'm concerned.
I'm sure many people have spoken about the infinite, sweet, endearing qualities that Piyush has. But I'm here to tell you about some very irritating and annoying qualities that he has. For example, he's always on time. It is unbelievable. This is Bombay. The traffic is unpredictable. It can be a mess at any point in time, and invariably everybody's late for any meeting. But for Piyush, he's always on time. It's unreal. And as you walk in, he'll just look at you and say like, again, you guys are late.
कहीं भी पहुंचना है तो 5 मिनट पहले पहुंचना चाहते हैं. कभी उनका रास्ते में ऐसा ना एक हमको लेट हो रहा है, भगा, ये कर वो कर.
Secondly, the client wants something included from this angle, that angle, about the audience, the product, etc. And we're all struggling with it. And in comes Piyush. Within just a few minutes, he'll simplify it and give the most intuitive idea, and he'll say, there it was, sitting under your nose. And I think, you know what? It's not sitting under our noses. All the really nice ideas are trapped in that bushy mustache of yours under your nose.
I don't remember having shouted at anyone. No. I had my own way of saying, kya kar raha hai yaar? And added with a few things here and there.
Yeah.
But culture is created that way. Culture is not created by the baton. Neither the baton nor the book.
I think I envy his ability to suffer fools. Piyush has that rare ability of, wearing them down, getting them to see his point of view, charming them with his wit, and eventually they all come around, and I find that extraordinarily irritating. For a man who possesses so many irritating qualities, how can that person be so lovable and inspiring?
And these are people who became
Yeah.
Stars, and I'm not saying that other stars didn't happen.
Yeah.
Right, you're talking about Ogilvy. I'm sharing with you what was happening at Ogilvy and what probably helped us tick.
So I've learned a lot from Piyush, yeah, including this, which if you know Piyush well, you know exactly what that means, right? But I want to tell you a story, right, about Piyush's big-heartedness. The second time I won Copywriter of the Year, I was out of the country. I was not going to be there for the award show. So Piyush made sure that my mother was there at the award show, and he took her up on stage to accept the award on my behalf. That's the kind of man that Piyush is, and it shows not just in how he is as a human being, but it also shines in his work.
I was dating my wife in Ogilvy. We used to work together, and I guess everyone in Ogilvy knew except for us. Being Piyush, one day he asked me, "What is happening with you and Ranjan?" So I said, "Nothing. We are just dating." So शादी कभी करेगा? Piyush is one person who really loves you, cares for you as a head of the family.
When you started in your initial, when you were very, very junior, who were those 2 or 3 people who were what you are to a lot of people?
See, there are different people from different disciplines.
Okay.
But Suresh Malik for sure. Suresh Malik was the creative director, and he loved cricket. And he liked what I was doing. He's the one who had a word with Maniar and said that why don't we get him on to the other side. He is the one who gave me an opportunity to participate in his huge baby called Mile Sur Mera Tumhara.
Okay.
So yes, and I was so much younger and in client servicing. He saw something in me to give me the opportunity. They created a padding for me called Copy Chief Indian Languages.
Acha.
So that I'm not seen to be competing with the pure creative people.
Okay.
So I came as one debutant who nobody took very seriously to say he is not a threat to us. Ranjan Kapoor actually took over from Maniar. That is the time we actually blossomed as a creative agency. Ranjan came and said one simple thing, which was different from the past. And he said, "You are my partner, but our thing is that we will practice a life which says that we want to be the largest agency in the country at the back of great creative work." Now, at the back of great creative work, underlined as to how we are going to go about it.
Okay.
That it didn't say we will become so many thousand crores or whatever. It says, अच्छा काम करेंगे तो पैसे तो बनेंगे ही. First, lead with, let's do great work. When we are doing great work, let's collect the right people.
So do you remember any instance where when you were very junior and you went for a meeting or presentation, where something happened which was became like that you look back and laugh, say I actually did this, or I got embarrassed, या मैंने ऐसे कुछ present कर दिया, या कोई incident याद है आपको?
I was not scared if I was doing the right thing.
Correct.
At my work and at occasions like this, when I joined Ogilvy, Mr. Iyer asked me, the last interview was with him, and he said, you were a cricketer, then you were a tea taster, then you went in a construction company. So what guarantee can you give me that you will be with us 1 year from now? I said, that's an interesting question. Thought for a moment. I said, Mr. Iyer, what guarantee can you give me that you will keep me here after 1 year? So now it was his chance of thinking. I said, listen, I don't think, I'm quite certain that I will be here. Beyond that, I can't give you a guarantee, and nor can you.
Correct.
He gave me the job.
Wow.
So I was never scared of presenting work that people told me, yeah, that fellow will never buy. I said, why? How do you know? You're an astrologer or something. Let me go, he's not going to kill me.
Right.
I've presented work like that, and you discovered that clients are not demons.
Right.
It's their money. They also want to excel. They want to excel more than you want to excel.
Correct.
And a lot of work got passed, approved, made, and did good things for the client. So, what are you scared of?
It's fascinating. My relationship with Piyush now goes back to almost 40 years. I think this is 1987. In those days, a lot of advertising was only press and it was English. So our campaign was Celebrate with Asian Paints. The guys came with the Hindi campaign which said Asian Paints ke saath Jashan Manao. I said, listen, there's obviously somebody who hasn't ever spoken Hindi at home. So I called the account people and I said, listen, I want somebody who's grown up speaking Hindi. I mean, you guys just don't have it right. So they said, okay, we'll send our Hindi copy chief. And who is the Hindi copy chief? Piyush Pandey. So Piyush came, I explained to him and he said, "Arey yaar, this is ye to bahut galat hai. So leave it with me." He rings me up that same evening saying, I've cracked it. What is it? Har Khushi Mein Rang Laye, Asian Paints. I said, this is the guy now. He's going to be working on creative. That's how our association started, and through, Celebrate with Asian Paints, Mera Wala Cream. We've done lots that work in Cadbury's, work in Pidilite. We've now worked together, therefore, for 36, 37 years together.
Sometimes you'll fail.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll fail, doesn't matter. I mean, this 40 plus years of my career, don't you think I failed? Of course I failed. But when I take the scorecard, then I say, I don't really care about how many I failed. I enjoyed the journey of how many people that I could enjoy the journey with, all clients. Without the clients, you are nobody. And how many creative people that I've enjoyed the journey. And how many brands we grew together.
Correct.
And how much fun we had.
He's just his amazing ability to simplify and connect with the man on the street. He's just got that pulse, so instinctively him.
I don't think I've met somebody who's filled with that zest and that love and that enjoyment for life.
You're the only one who calls me, asks me more questions on how new stuff is done than anybody that I know. Sometimes I'm amazed how many questions you ask.
One thing I find very cool about him is how little he cares for technology. He treats technology like that cousin who's come from abroad and is trying to show off, and Piyush is going to show technology its place. So while everyone is, busy revering this cousin who's come from some fancy place abroad, Piyush is the guy who will put the laxative in his drink and give it to him.
He can laugh at everything. He can laugh at any situation. He can laugh at himself. He can laugh with you. He can make you laugh. And that's been his absolute strength. That's held him throughout thick and thin. There is no way that you'll ever feel let down by Piyush Pandey, whoever you are. And mainly if you are working for him or working with him.
In fact, you will hear Piyush before you see him. This large booming laughter that you will hear in the corridors, and that's so quintessentially Piyush.
All the different campaigns that you've done, they're like textbooks, bolo ya jo bhi bolo, but people have seen all the work and they have...
The beauty of all this is because they didn't come from the textbook.
Correct.
They were not created like a textbook. That is why people love them.
Yeah.
They came from the heart, they were expressed from the heart, and they were loved by people, and that's why they remember them.
Correct.
So those kind of things don't come from the textbook. They don't come from research.
Exactly. You will never get this kind of success from research. Research तो आपको बता देगा कि ये word ठीक नहीं है, ये line ठीक नहीं है.
वो मेरे को पसंद नहीं है. तो they've come from a lot from life, and the connections I made, the stories I wrote, and with a huge contribution of my brother Prasoon Pandey, who makes them come alive through the kind of filmmaking he does.
Right.
And because he's a creative person, there are a lot of contribution within the script also.
I think the two things that stand out for him is, one is his genuine love for the job and his excitement in doing a great job. The second is he frankly owns the brand as much as you do. I mean, you look at Fevicol. I always say I have the two best brand managers in Fevicol. They're called Prasoon and Piyush Pandey.
My initial days were of a lot of magical starts I got. Dam Laga Ke Ahisha was first written as a radio spot.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And for a brand called Fevitite, they heard it and they said, you know, why don't you make a film out of it? I have not gone there to make a film. That's how the film was made. When I made the film and went there, and they both looked a little concerned, and I got concerned. Why are they concerned? And they said, Piyush, there's a problem. I said, my heart sank. And he said, you know, Fevitite is too small a brand to carry an idea this big. Take the money again and make it now for Fevicol. The client said made it for Fevicol. The idea was always to keep people engaged.
Right.
And that's what we started doing from the egg one.
Right.
We continued a lot. We did then later on with Bus. We did later on, and to this extent that 2 years back, when 60 years, we did that Sharma Ki Dulhan.
Correct.
So it is a phenomenal history of 30-35 years of outstanding work that people said, when are you doing the next one?
And that's the, I think, the biggest benchmark of this, or rather the biggest proof of success is when people become your brand ambassadors. I think with all the work that you did, whether it was Cadbury's or whatever, people started saying, have you seen that ad?
The most unforgettable, I would say, 25 years later is Cadbury's Dairy Milk commercial, which we shot on this ground 25 years ago. It just happens to be I'm shooting here again, and that's such a lovely coincidence. Went on to become probably more famous and remembered than either of us expected. You know, I mean, they've made another 25-year memorial to that with a new ad.
The fact that they could redo it after so many years, you know, keeping the music same, keeping the entire script the same, automatically is proof that it's timeless.
Yeah, that is why we made it. When Arshad and Kenaz, they shared it with me that ye karna chahte hain. I said, fantastic. Do it, just don't touch the music.
One of the reasons why campaigns or ideas which have been thought of so many years ago, the life of that, it's still continuing. Nowadays,
when I go to IIMs and all to speak, when the first 4 frames of MCL come, oh, there's a roar in the hall. These guys were 2 years old when I released it.
you must have got a lot of female attention. Huh? And this is what women want. They want someone who can make them laugh and cry, and someone who's witty. And the combination was all there. It was like this potent combination.
I mean, sometimes there are embarrassing moments for me. When you're standing at an airport and some very young, very good-looking woman comes running to you and you say, ah, and she comes and says, sir, I've been wanting to meet you. My mother is a great fan of yours. I say, okay. Sorry.
I remember this one prank that he played on everybody. On Mother's Day, he'll wake up early, as he always does. And he will call everybody else's mothers and wish them happy Mother's Day and get lots of, goodwill and lots of blessings because of that. He'll be rubbing his hands and feeling so joyful because he's now, got everybody into trouble because now he's wished the mothers before they have wished their mothers. And he has the same childlike enthusiasm when it comes to work. And I think after so many years of being in the business, I think it's something that is really very rare and special.
Is there any particular piece of work or a campaign or something which you thought, this time it's again going to become another Cadbury's or another Asian Paints or whatever, but you somehow, it didn't become that, aisa kuch tha?
No, not that big, but there are ads that we tried to, when I tried to make a sequel. Now, never do a sequel unless you've done your homework. So yes, I made my mistakes. I mean, if I didn't make the mistakes, I wouldn't have been able to do good work. If you, and you get hard from the fact that look at the score sheets of so many years and you'll see many zeros for Tendulkar. Then you say, then if we got so many zeros, I'm all right.
Yeah, correct. I think a lot of people have this favorite poem, If Rudyard Kipling Wali. You must have read that poem. And there is a line in it which says, you can talk with the crowds and keep your virtue. If you can talk with the crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings without losing your common touch. There couldn't be a better line for you. Brand building and all, for advertising is one thing. How was your experience with the political campaign that you did? Was it
was
different?
great. It was great. I was scared of it
Huh.
because I had never done a political campaign before that.
Correct.
So I didn't know how the politicians like a client. They turned out to be better than many clients. They were-
Seriously?
yeah.
Okay.
You could talk to them. They listened to you. They respected you.
Hmm.
They allowed you.
Hmm.
And they allowed an argument.
Oh, okay.
And therefore, the campaign turned out to be useful for them. I had a good time.
Okay.
I really had a good time. Lunch, it depends on, because sometimes he'll make a non-veg or something. Dal always. He's a damn good dal maker. It is known as Kishangadi dal in my house.
अच्छा.
That's very nice.
I know that आप दुनिया में कोई भी कोने में जाते हो तो भी आप इंडियन खाना ढूंढ ही लेते हो, है ना? Because it's very important. for
मैंने
you.
ऐसे थोड़ी लिखी थी वो लाइन.
कौन सी?
घर का खाना होता है. I actually believe in it.
खाना पीने में जैसी तरह लौकी, तोरी ऐसा चीज़ खाता है. मिक्स दाल हो गया और खिचड़ी, और आजकल थोड़ा वेज नॉन वेज, उनको तंदूरी हो गया, ये स्पेशल उनका है. उनका फेवरेट है जयपुर का गुंदी वाला लड्डू.
This one time we had just landed in Kyoto. Piyush tells us, I found this fantastic Indian restaurant. So, I mean, we all like wondered, how did Piyush find an Indian restaurant in Kyoto? So this is Piyush. He will always find Indian food wherever you go in the world.
We were in Reykjavik, Iceland. So first day at breakfast, I'm stunned. They have these aromatic, fragrant, lovely, awesome Indian samosas. And turns out that the head chef at that fancy Iceland hotel was originally an Indian. He was a fan of Piyush Pandey. He knew everything about him. He had chosen to introduce samosas into their menu.
He once told me when he went to Slovenia, he said, "Wahan bhi mujhe mila some okra, some restaurant called Okra in Slovenia." So can you imagine? And he loves for you to eat what he enjoys eating. And I don't particularly enjoy what he's eating, but he will say, "Come with me," and he will take you to a restaurant and he will order patla dal, rice, and bhindi.
That's Piyush and his passion for Indian food and all its purity.
There was this French breakfast, croissants and all that, और आप घर से अचार ले गए थे और आपने croissants के साथ अचार खाया था.
ये तो मैंने बहुत जगह खाया था. But the story is, we were in a Michelin star restaurant,
Really?
big one, very very fancy one. We were taken by one of our CEOs, very proper. So in my thela I had my mirchi ka achar. French food is not edible, yeah. So when everything came and pulled out, and 2-3 of Neil French was also there, and he said, "We got your bottle." I said, "Yeah." We put plenty.
Neil French ने भी खाया अचार?
हाँ, वो उसको बहुत पसंद था मिर्ची का. So हमने आया तो खाना आया, वो वहाँ से देख रहा था दूर से, वो शेफ बोला कुछ नहीं. Otherwise they were supposed to be very finicky. After we finished and everything was done, oh, that mirchi ka was smelling fantastic.
Correct.
To us at least. But he came, he said, "That whatever you have there is fantastic." इतना सा बचा था. Like, "Can you give that to me?"
Oh my God.
All yours.
So
Thank you for not
Michelin
objecting.
star.
हाँ,
और
Michelin star.
आपसे मिर्ची का अचार ले रहा है. अच्छा, voicing भी आपने करी हुई है?
It happened only because of a need, and I've done very limited. I had written and done a scratch for Hargas Kuch Kehta Hai.
हाँ.
So one of my clients, he said, "I have access to Mr. Bachchan. Why don't you get him to read it?"
अच्छा.
I said, "Absolutely, Mr. Bachchan is Mr. Bachchan." So I went to meet him. They had fixed a meeting in some theatre where he was seeing one of his screenings. He said, "Dikhao kya hai?" I screened that. So why do you have to touch this voice? I'm not doing it. You run with this. That is the origin of Hargar Kuch Kehta Hai.
मान लीजिए आप, your life would have taken a different turn and you would have remained with the construction company or with tea and all that. I'm sure there also you would have कुछ अलग type
I would have attempted. I mean, if I look back the way you are asking me,
yeah.
that khurafati dimag
हाँ.
of wanting to do something differently.
Correct.
Maybe I wouldn't have been able to do well and I would have been kicked out of the construction company. But if I then went to a pawn shop, I would have tried in the pawn shop also.
उनके साथ रह के मुझे ऐसा अपने से बड़े के साथ क्या व्यवहार करना चाहिए, भैया हम लोग को बड़े अच्छे से समझाते कभी कभी.
मैं फैमिली की तरह रखा है उन्होंने, तो मैं भी फैमिली की तरह रहा है, उसके लिए थैंक यू.
Every time he calls me and he says, प्रेम से बोलो जय माता दी.
Piyush, there's a message from my mom for you. Please give Kainaz less work.
Piyush and I still good buddies and hope to be for a long time more.
I promise to Khelo front foot se, and if anybody comes and tells me anything, I'll say tum sab ho.
You enjoy the memories when things went wrong and you dealt with it.
Long live Piyush. I love you.
Piyush Pandey is a special human being. They don't make them like him anymore. So really, Budzi, hats off to you for what you've achieved. So many people love you and so many people think the world of you. You really made all of us proud. And talking about you makes tears come down my eyes, just as they would do to you.
Sometimes once in a while I dabble with some words of mine with no client asking me to do it. And I write it sometimes and it is a message for all of us. And it is a message for me also, which I have written. I'll read it out to you.
Yes, read it.
So I had called it Pagdandi. पगडंडी भी बड़ी खूबसूरत राह होती है. इसमें किसी व्यक्ति के पग और हाथ की डंडी होती है. डंडी झाड़ियों को हटाती है, पग घास को दबाते हैं और देखते ही देखते रास्ते बन जाते हैं. पगडंडी और पथ में बहुत फ़र्क होता है. पगडंडी पर कोई नाम नहीं, पर पथ पे सबके नाम लिखे होते हैं. अजय पथ, विजय पथ, फलाना पथ, ढिकाना पथ. कौन था, कहाँ जा रहा था, क्यों जा रहा था पता नहीं. क्या सिर्फ सड़क पर रहता था या उसने कुछ किया था. किसी को कहीं ले गया था या सिर्फ कोने पर जिया था. पथ पर उसका नाम, किसका नाम लिखा जाए, ये किसका नतीजा था. क्या मिनिस्टर का साला या एमएलए का भतीजा था. वैसे भी ऐसे पथ मरणोपरांत होते हैं. अच्छा है इन पथों की अभिलाषा को भूल जाओ तुम. जिंदगी में बेनाम सी कुछ पगडंडियां बनाओ तुम.
Hey, the one word for Piyush, Godfather.
Childlike joy.
Fearless.
Unstoppable.
Forever young.
Sportsman, man of his word, front foot.
12-year-old boy.
Fun.
All hard.
Partner.
Champion. Chief. हाँ भाई.
Do subscribe for updates, like, share and follow us on YouTube, Facebook and Instagram as well as creativetalkative.com.